Hello everybody, welcome back to artofdino.com and saveearth.us, and I've got a nice article that came out today from the Metro in UK. A random article, I think it was on Drudge or in one of those collection sites, but talking about how Antarctica and around a certain peninsula is becoming more and more green. And I think again, this is another level of the disclosure of Antarctica that is coming. And you got to remember to keep in mind how easy it would be for them to do this and how they've definitely done this in the past. Worrying, that part's also very interesting, how they consider it to be such a negative. Worrying satellite image shows Antarctica is turning green at a dramatic rate. So why would it even be bad that it's turning green? It's turning because it's warmer, I guess they're trying to say, but isn't more green better for the world? I seem to think so. But very ridiculous, so dramatic that its entire future is in question. It's been warned. It's warming faster than the global average. All this stuff. Greening is spreading faster than anticipated. But again, is it? Or is this just them getting prepped for the release of whatever? Has it always been like this? Or that looks pretty lush. That moss is not just year-old moss. That is a lot. And so I am really curious as to what is really happening here, because again, like I said, when the military owns an area, the world militaries own an area, they can do anything. In order to protect Antarctica, we must understand these changes and identify precisely what is causing them. They're talking about you got to read the article, it's kind of ridiculous. They say soil in Antarctica is mostly poor or non-existent, but this increase in plant life will add organic matter and facilitate soil formation. So how is that bad? They're talking about it like it's a dramatic. These climate change freaks have just got so many things confused, they just don't get it. But to me, again, I think that what's happening to Antarctica is a newer method of what happened with America. There was this continent that people knew about. Maybe people had gone there, explorers had gone there, or Columbus had gone there, etc. Blah, blah, blah. You hear about these things. You hear about these big stories. You're taught about them. Just like we're taught about Antarctica. You know, the scientists. It's a science country. The scientist cult dominate that land. And so they don't want you touching penguins. They don't want you doing anything. And so in the clips that they've shown, even in all the documentaries and stuff that they show, is all ice. And so that again could be one smaller region, whereas the massive part could be mostly green, like how they just deceive us in every way, and they compartmentalize, and they make everyone sign non-disclosure agreements. I'm sure a couple people almost whistleblow, and then they wipe them out, they snuff them out, and then all the other people are like, I'm keeping my mouth shut, and that's how the game works. But think about how easy it would be for them to hide just a green continent. And I do think in our lifetime we are going to be unleashed into a new territory. I really do. And I think it's Antarctica or somewhere in the poles, but it's looking like Antarctica as well, because the land keeps going and there is more to it for us, and they need to expand. These controllers need to, and I really feel like they've been just setting the stage in Antarctica. They've been prepping it, like who could have done it? Like all the different things that they had in the United States and in America before it came over and people were settling here. They wiped out an ancient civilization. It inevitably turned to dust. They had dust bowls. They had all these different things where life didn't grow, and then gradually a couple hundred years later, the life starts to grow back, and you get people there and living there again. And so they can change this narrative in millions of different ways. There's 1,000 different stories you can tell a people if you are hiding everything from them, and they believe everything you say. You can make up anything. And so they've always had these talks about different things found in lakes or underground civilizations, and there's this big pyramid, and there are these structures, but they never, and all like the elites end up taking their trips down there. The Kerrys and all those other losers end up going down there, and God knows what they do. They're always smiling. It's not like they're going into a cold abyss. They're going somewhere that they know about and love, and a breakaway civilization. Perhaps it would be so unbelievably easy to do if you are the controllers of this government in the rich elite, which so many people, just by having money, that it sections you off between what you can do and what you can't do. And then having power and just connections to their cult of evil is another kind of thing that will go in there. But again, this is just one of those little hints that I think is coming, and they slow release it. Oh, blah blah blah. We'll make it look bad, make it seem bad, and then who knows, 30, 100, 20 years or whatever, they'll start releasing people. They'll start bringing people slowly. They'll get the civilization all set up. They'll get the buildings. They'll uncover maybe the buildings. Maybe they're doing that now. Maybe they're whitewashing the old buildings that were there, getting it prepped, and then people will be like, oh wow, you guys made this? How did this happen? Oh, you guys were building. Whoa, construction teams are here. I wonder how they'll unveil the timeline. But they will, because it is too much, and they love exploitation of everything. And so it's a shame that that whatever control they have over the whistleblowers is so strong that nobody is blowing the whistle. But somebody should do a photo dump, release a ton of different footage and information and everything on Antarctica, and just unveil it to the public before these monsters have a chance to destroy it and poison the beauty of it or the truth of the matter, because we need to be dealing in truth again and not just trusting these fools who are the worst people to ever live on all time in our present moment. They're just terrible, and the stuff that they're doing with the hurricane and everywhere else in every country that has control is just really sickening. So it would be nice to escape, but do we want to escape it to a place that's controlled by the same idiots? I don't. So hopefully something will happen. Hopefully, you never know. The possibilities are endless, and there is a myriad of possibilities. I still am rooting for some good breakaway civilization beyond the poles to come and help us in our time of need, and maybe do something. Blow the whistle, drop pamphlets over all of our country, do something, telepath messages into us. Who knows? But I want that realization to come, and whatever way they do it, if they do it like this and they make people believe all the wrong things and, oh, it's terrible, blah, 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 whatever, as long as we get it. That's all that really matters to me. I just want to see some new land and explore it and hopefully experience it with all you out there, and not with any of the present-day controllers anywhere in sight. But who knows, because they are toxic leeches that are everywhere until we can win. Finally, which I hope we do. We the people must win. The battle has never been so ridiculous. So stay strong, everybody. Bless you all, and prepare for new land and new terrain someday, because it's coming. I can feel it, and I hope you can too. I think all this information, all these different things and avenues and things that we're going down are the right path. So stick with it, and if you know anything, blow the whistle. Bless you all. And I've got one more thing to consider with all of this. And as we look at Tibet, it makes me wonder what happens to the weather when you destroy a civilization in an entire place. So imagine this as being totally prime, life everywhere. You can see where people live, there is life in Tibet. There's green, there's all this stuff. So imagine the whole place is like that. And then all of a sudden it gets, so with all the weather that would make, and then all of a sudden it gets cooked out. Think of how the weather would change. The plants, I don't think we in science fully understand the effect of weather on the plants and with the landscape. I think there's a very big connection that the ancient people knew and that we don't. And so when you blow up a certain area near Africa, boom, you can have sand, or you can then dump sand on it. When you blow up places like Greenland and Iceland, it turns to ice after a while, because the atmosphere and everything is different. The weather, the climate, everything changes. When you blow up Antarctica, it goes and it turns to snow, because the weather that was there, that the trees and the nature provided and helped foster, is gone. And then boom, you can tell that guy is standing on an ancient something. As you look at Tibet drone footage, you see ancient things everywhere. So once that is all destroyed, once that ancient prime time era and civilization is destroyed, the weather changes would be catastrophic and massive. And that's why I think we see things so drastic in these certain places like Tibet, the Sahara, Antarctica, Greenland, the Arctic, Antarctica, all those. So just some more food for thought. Bless you all.